Hello, good evening, everyone. If you are from another country or another time zone, I would like to say good afternoon or good morning to all of you. I am Jay. We represent Intercultural Education, a Hong Kong-based social enterprise that wants to make people become true global citizens. And one of the ways that we do it is to expose everyone to different cultures. We get real people to talk about real issues. And this is part of the Explorers Month, where we go to a different country every month, and we learn about the cities, we learn about the issues, we learn about the language. And this month in February, we are learning about Korea, right? South Korea to be exact. And today's topic is very, very interesting, right? We're talking a little bit, as you guys might know, we're talking a little bit about feminism. Now, I am not the perfect person to talk about it for obvious reasons as well, but I've invited my friends who will be sharing with you guys more about this topic. Now, first of all, let me introduce to you guys Yuhee.
Hi guys, my name is Yuhee Hong and I'm from South Korea, and I'm now studying International and Asian Studies in Hong Kong City University, and I would be introducing you about womanhood in South Korea today.
Very good. Perfect. Actually, what you're studying is really related to this topic as well, right?
Yeah, sure.
In a sense, right. And at the same time, I would like to introduce to you our host for tonight, which is Amanda.
So hello guys, I'm Amanda, and I'm studying Korean Studies and Comparative Literature at the University of Hong Kong. So I'll be talking about feminism in South Korea tonight too. So yeah.
And just before we begin, for those of you who might be scratching your head and thinking like, what is Fika Club? I mean, like, why is the topic called Fika Club anyway? Just a quick explanation, right? Fika is a concept in a Swedish concept where people sip a cup of coffee or tea and discuss about everyday issues. So I thought that it would be a very good way where the atmosphere can be a bit more light, but we can still discuss some serious issues. That's the whole idea about the Fika Club, which means that for you guys in front of the computer or through YouTube or Facebook, feel free to ask us any questions. Leave your comment in the chat box if you're on YouTube, or in the comments if you're on Facebook Live. Now, if you have any questions to ask our guest Yuhee or Amanda regarding Hong Kong as well, feel free to do so. I'll be checking. I have the computer over here ready to check on the comments, and I will fire away questions as we go along, right? But the stars are here on my left. I'll pass the time over to maybe I'll to Amanda first to begin the whole session, or maybe let's yeah.
Maybe we can start with the history of South Korean feminism movements first. Yeah, so that we can talk about like how Korean see women in general, and then we can have our discussion later. Yeah.
Yes, actually that's a very good start. Right, ready. Right, so you
So first I would be talking about the history of womanhood. So next slide please. Yeah, and next slide. So this is called Kunuhe in South Korean. So this is like the first organization that South Korea had as like having a feminist movement. So this was held in 1927, which it was during the Joseon dynasty, which is really significant because at the time Joseon was a Confucius dynasty, and the woman's role was like really low class at the time. So women were eager to fight against those kind of social norms at such early period as well. So a lot of feminist workers do appreciate those kind of work at the past, and they really celebrate those kind of organizations also in the state. So next slide please. So I would be talking about feminist movement in more recent days. So in 1980s, South Korea was an authoritarian state, so it was better for feminists to work in such social condition because many South Korean was rebellious towards the current authoritarian state. So they had like a better condition to fight against those kind of social norms. And in the 2000s, because the internet was more widely spread and more feminist movements was upon online, and they had more internet engines to communicate with each others. And in most recent days, about 3 years ago, Me Too movement was initiated in South Korea, which we would be talking about in later on. And that really triggered the point for South Koreans' feminist movement, and which is continuing to nowadays. So,
yeah. Thank you for your introduction of the development of feminism movement in South Korea, and I wonder like why it's the development grows so fast recently. Like, is it really that the gender discrimination against women is that serious in South Korea?
I think that as you guys know, like lookism and those kind of like rigid beauty standards really triggered women to be more rebellious towards those kind of social norms, and I think that was a trigger point against it. And also, I think the society was more open enough to adapt those kind of transitions and those voices from women. So I think it was the work between all society as a unity. So I think that helped feminism to have such radical transition in those kind of perspective.
Okay. Yeah. So, did you ever experience that kind of discrimination while living in Korea?
It's hard to say if I were more like discriminated compared to male because I only lived as a female, but I did experience some kind of like harsh beauty standards towards myself also, like body image and like putting on makeup and stuff. Like in some people, like even the older generation, think it's polite to put on makeup and you have to act in a certain form as a woman. You have to behave and be like more calm and like don't run around, act like a boy and stuff like that. So I do, as South Korea is a Confucius country, they have kind of a stricter standard towards women. Yeah.
Yeah.
Talking about being polite, so wearing a makeup is actually to be polite to someone else.
Yeah, maybe it's like how I care with your relationship and I wanna like I put some kind of effort meeting you and I care about meeting you, so it's just like a term of like, oh, I care for you and I care for like just meeting you, so I put on makeup and trying to look at my best figure, I guess.
It's not about like making myself look good, but it's more like being
polite
to others.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So it's pretty serious for women, especially right in South Korea.
I guess so. Women especially has more pressure to like dress themselves up and stuff like that.
Yeah. So should we like talk more about like the woman image in South Korea?
Yeah, talk about female image because you know like
how they look.
Because as a non-Korean, like my stereotype about Korea comes from K-drama, K-pop, and this like beauty standards, having like all big eyes or like fair and then something like that. So like you can share with us a little bit about your take on that. So we go on to the pictures just to show more.
So this is what I think that all foreigners would see South Korean female through K-pop and K-drama and K-beauty. This isn't only about like international wide like image, but also it is an internal issue because of those K-pop idols. I think they really trigger a rigid standard of beauty of their like facial appearance and their body image, because like all idols are really pretty and they have really skinny body figure, so South Korean women might be expected to look in that form. And K-drama, I think those kind of like relationships issues they have, so I think it might trigger South Korean women to act in a certain form in those relationships and also in the society. And about K-beauty, they have like a really like strict spectrum of makeup. Like for like foundation and stuff, they have like really bright skin tone, and they only have like 2 shades, and like it's really pale. And like they don't have like a lot of variety of makeup like compared to like international brands. Like South Korean brands have like more like light pink, like corally, like cute kind of makeup style, and that I think that kind of sets the society to put makeup on those kind of spectrum, because they only produce those kind of makeup, and that's what I think that how people would view South Korean women. Yes, and then I would be talking more deeper on the rigid beauty standards South Korean women would have. So we have like this chart shows what you expect for your weight should be compared to your height. They have the black one is the normal weight, and the pink one is the expected weight that is the prettiest in your certain height, and you can see like the difference is quite big. So we kind of care about those stuff, like those kind of like if you're more skinny, like your clothes would fit better and stuff. And next slide please.
It's like a 10 kg difference between
it's
the
quite a lot. Yeah.
scientific healthy weight and the
how you look beautiful, I guess, in South
weight.
Korea. Yeah.
Wow.
So these women you can see is really famous Korean celebrities, and all like this regarding their height, their weight is like 45 kilograms, which is like really skinny. And if you just like search their name in any internet engine, they show like their height and weights, which kind of impacts like South Korean young women who like just like, oh, they're so pretty undies, but you have to be that skinny to be like them. And next slide please. And these are some diets from really famous South Korean celebrities, and that's what you see, that's what they eat all day. So, and this is also, that was really viral. Her name is Itae. She's a really famous celebrity also, and she eats 1 spoon of rice each meal, so only 3 spoons of rice for her whole diet. So that was really viral. So she lost a lot of weight. So that a lot of news articles were related about that kind of case. Yeah.
So there's this like pressure from the girls on the girls to wear makeup because it's polite, and at the same time to conform into a certain weight category because it looks pretty.
Yeah.
And to continue a diet on the like let's say a K-pop star, just so that you can look like them.
Yeah. And also like a lot of South Koreans clothing brand has like a really small spectrum of sizes. They don't have like big sizes, so you have to like fit your body to the clothes that they produce. So I think like those kind of fashion industry also influence those kind of body images among South Korean women. Yeah.
And I think well, regarding the body size thing, I think it's also quite like, I mean, it's not just gonna just influence Korea, right? Because a lot of like Singaporeans, Hong Kongers, they also buy a lot of Korean shirts, and that might also influence in some sense.
Yeah.
We receive a question, thanks Jordan, from YouTube Live. I've been told that feminism in South Korean is a very bad and derogatory term. Like, why is that?
I think like because after the 2018 Me Too movement, there were a lot of anti-feminist kind of atmosphere among South Korea, because they were really radical, to be honest, and they are like a small portion of women who are quite maybe not seem a lot like too logical, I guess. So I think those kind of women might like made the issue more serious, which is not, I'm not saying like the whole feminist in South Korea is like that, but and also like the Me Too movement, they had a lot of drawbacks because some innocent celebrities were accused to be sexual assaultants, So their image as a celebrity were really damaged. So those kind of Me Too movements have kind of turned in a different form as it intended, which I feel really bad about it because they are really victims who are fighting against those kind of social norms. But I think those kind of drawbacks, and as women might be I think that's what I think about those
so
kind of.
They've been affected by a lot of things like vocal minorities within that movement that gives like a cast a bad light on the whole thing, which is why it's a bit like so we talk about feminism usually have a bad image.
There is some anti-feminists among also both females and males.
Okay. One more comment. Thanks to Emily also on YouTube Live regarding the diets that we talked about just now, right? Which is like, these excessive diets often reported as a good thing or a bad thing in the media? Like, are these women praised for eating so little or criticized? That's a good question.
Yeah, that is. I think like at first, like when a singer has a new album and they have an interview, and like most like K-pop singers are really skinny and really fit, so like the reporter would ask, oh, how did you like trying to keep those kind of body figure, and they would say, oh, I eat this much, and like they would say, oh wow, like you work so hard for your body image. Like I think that was like only 5 years ago it wasn't like really criticized, but nowadays I think it is more criticized because people now understand that it really influenced the younger generation, and because a lot of Koreans are following those kind of diets, which is really unhealthy, like nutrition wise, and even like for women going under puberty, you have to like grow up and stuff, like you shouldn't like worry about weight loss and stuff. So I think nowadays it's quite criticized to like have like excessive diet. So like more celebrities are now having healthy diets and like more balanced meals and stuff, and like more exercise and stuff. So I think it's changing right now.
Changing for the better.
Changing for the better way.
Any questions?
Because I know like in media, like they will they have like playing this such a big role in this kind of like weight loss phenomenon, like because like when the celebrities are gaining weight, like they have report like, oh my gosh, she's gaining so much weight, seeming like it's a bad thing for a female to like gain weight, or oh why is she so chubby, this kind of comments. Like is it still that serious?
I do see a lot of news articles. If a female celebrity gains a bit of weight, like a lot of news articles comes out about the related stuff. But I think like in really recent years after the Me Too movement, people are more aware, and like people kind of understand like, oh, they're human, and even like on camera you people say like you gain like 5 more kilograms. So like even though celebrities look like kind of chubby, but if you look at like outside, like they're really skinny and stuff. So I think people kind of are trying to be more generous. Like even though people still think like maybe K-pop idols should have like a certain body figure because like they're like idols, they should be like ideal, skinny, like skinny, but still I think they're not like a lot like criticized like before. But now people like the society is accepting like it happens like
and I know like there's more Korean celebrities that are like bigger size celebrities, like although like most of them are like comic
not but, like comedians and stuff.
But like it's still like a great progress. Like still like they are accepting a new image of female.
Because like at the past there were a lot of like like comedians like kind of making fun of like those female comedians who are kind of fat, but people are like more aware, and they're trying to stop like making fun of like those body figures, even though like even the female comedian would be okay because that's like identity of like herself. They would like try to like stop making fun of like the body image because like the society is now really aware about those kind of stuff.
I think this topic about like body type is gaining a lot of attention from our audience, because we also have like a Joshua from YouTube Live, right, talking about asking a question. So after this question, I think we can move on to another part. I mean, the feminism movement is not just about body shape, but there's also other factors involved. So Joshua, hi Joshua, wants to ask, like, it's kind of weird that people will criticize someone for being thin or being just right but claim to be fat already, right? Like, so actually, what exactly is the standard, of what's normal to them? Is that actually ever going to be a normal?
There's like, I think like personally, people think it really compares by height, but like if you're like over 160 centimeters, like 48 might be an ideal like weight, because like it's just like what people think, like, oh, it's pretty, but I think nowadays like people like accept more like diverse body images and stuff, but yeah, it's
very thin.
Yeah, right. But I think it's like more
woman.
strict.
Like 48 for 160 is really thin.
Yeah, but especially for like female idols or like actresses, I think it's like more the standard is more tight than like ordinary people. Yeah.
I see. I do think also like there's this maybe, I don't know about Korea, but let's say in Hong Kong or in Singapore, there's also this move towards like not being just skinny but being like healthy in terms of like working out. A lot of Instagrammers like they're like going to like work out and like they're lean but they're not like just sickly thin.
Yeah, right.
So maybe that's happening in Korea.
Yeah, I think so, because like for K-pop idols, like they were like stereotypically should be like thin. People think so, but now like if they their K-pop idols are like too thin, or they think like fans think they lost too much weight, they would like comment down, oh, she's not eating thin. Like, oh, what's like their company doing? They should like so, like protect her and stuff. And I think now South Koreans are more like those kind of like muscles, a little bit of muscles, and like a healthier body image, not only like skinny. So I think that's like a really good process, because that's also good for your health. Yeah.
I see. So right, besides the body shape, right, what other things can you share about like so maybe let's move on to the next section as well.
Okay, so now I will be talking about plastic surgery in South Korea. So yeah, might be quite a heavy topic. So South Korea, if you can see at the graph, 25% of female in 2020 have undergone plastic surgery. And next slide, please. And you can see at 2011, South Korea was the country that had the highest plastic surgery rate. But nowadays, I know that the plastic surgery rate is getting even higher. So I think that might be quite a serious issue. And this is called like a plastic surgery street in Apgujeong. It's a city in Seoul. So like what you can see in that Apgujeong plastic surgery street is like almost all like plastic surgery hospitals. So all those yellow circles I have is plastic surgery hospital in like each building. So the issue is quite serious. Yeah.
But like since there's so many clinics in South Korea, like, is there any regulations to like to certain quality of the plastic surgeries?
I do think like because their plastic surgery is really common, there's a lot of accidents during plastic surgeries. People even die during plastic surgery, and people are aware about it. But I think like in terms of the quality, maybe there would be a lot of regulations, but the advertisements of plastic surgery is, I think it's still a really serious issue in South Korea.
Yeah, I know like there are so many advertisements about plastic surgery in South Korean subways.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
right.
there's like so many, like you can see like everywhere. Like, is that true? Like, is it still a thing in South Korea?
I do. When I visited South Korea last year, there's like a subway line that I ride all the time. And you know like the MTR announcement, like, oh, go to the like exit by the left and stuff. Like they at like the meantime between each station they have a announcement that promotes like plastic surgery hospitals. Like like they have a dialogue like Onni, you're so pretty. Like what did you do? I went to the hospital in like exit 3, and you can just go and like just 10 minutes and just have like Botox and filler and stuff. So that was quite shocking because like it was like a really public stuff. And that like everybody pays attention to those announcements because like they announce this station is blah blah blah, and they have those kind of announcements. And even like those small banners in the subways, they have a lot of plastic surgery hospital advertisements. So yeah, I'm kind of concerned about those stuff.
It's like a guidance.
Yeah, right.
Like they guide you to take plastic surgery in public.
And they say it so casually, like going for lunch or something like that. It's like, you can go to exit something and get a Botox for like 10 minutes. And then. And it happens on like public transport. Yeah,
public transportations. Yeah.
This is acceptable. Like I mean, if it happens.
It was quite shocking for me too. Like okay, so. But I think it happens, and like even when you go to like each exits, there's like huge banners. Like even in Gangnam, if you walk around the street, there's a lot of plastic surgery hospitals, plus like a lot of advertisements like hanging around the road. Like it's if you're pretty, like if you want to be pretty, come to our hospital. And there's like a really pretty woman like standing like come to our hospital and stuff.
And it's predominantly female. Like
mostly female.
Mostly.
Because like most of the models of those advertisements is all female.
But I'm not sure, but like there what a really famous advertisement form was like showing the before and after, and also in like public transportation. But I feel like there's like less kinds of like those before and after ads, because like there can be more like provoking. So I think there's just like an after version now of like the woman and stuff.
Wow, transition.
So maybe like something is changing around. So yeah.
But like even though it's changing, but I've heard like plastic surgery, especially the double eyelid surgery, it's like a present for a high school graduate students. Is that true? Like
I feel like it is true, because in the graduation season in South Korea, there are a lot of like promotion among hospitals, and like you have some time before you go to college and university, and that's like the time you can just like really glam up and stuff and like meet new friends. So it gives you like time to heal after the surgery and stuff. So I think like at that season, a lot of people go through plastic surgery as well.
So we have a few questions in YouTube about plastic surgery in South Korea. So Jordan asked like, how young do women start getting into plastic surgery? Is it based towards the young adults or people a little older?
I think like I feel like they don't really have a specific target, but like plastic surgery like is really viral. So a lot of like students like in their middle school, I think like it's legally allowed if you're in middle school, if you have your parents' permission, you can do
middle school.
Yeah, middle school. You're also allowed to have plastic surgery and stuff. So there's a lot of middle schoolers also doing like not like too much, but only like double eyelid.
So we're like 15, 16 years old.
Yeah.
I never wear makeup when I was 15. How would I get plastic surgery? Oh, such a young age.
Yeah, really like teenagers. There's a lot of teenagers who go through it, and I think like also like a woman in their 20s or 30s, 40s also go through plastic surgery, but like I think like teenagers and people who are in their early 20s, because now they're like starting to join the society and stuff. They want to like transform into like a beautiful figure and then join the society and join the university and stuff.
Has there been any, because we are talking about feminism, right? Has there been any pushback as well, like regarding like plastic surgery? You know, like are people saying like, enough, or like actually this is not something that is very touched upon?
So I think like plastic surgery, I would be talking about this later on also, but like like the Escape the Corset movement and stuff, like only the plastic surgery, makeup, and like long hair and like dyeing your hair, I think some people are now being like more rebellious upon it. So I think there is a change on it.
So we have another questions on this topic. So Reka asked, how expensive are these surgeries though? So it's expensive, so I imagine this won't be cheap either. So like how much?
I think like I searched about plastic surgery, like why I heard like some foreigners come to South Korea and travel for plastic surgery. So I guess it's like cheaper because it's so common, but they have like a lot of promotion. Like if you do like both nose and like eyes, you get like discount. Yeah, discount. But like it really depends on like which hospital you go. But it's like, it's not. I think it's quite affordable because like a lot of people do it, and if you do more, you get more discount. So
if it's like a high school graduation gift,
I marketing.
I suppose it's not that expensive. And regarding the foreigners, I think it's true. I heard of people like having to come in on one passport and they actually leave on another. Have some doctor's certificate saying that you've done plastic surgery because the face shape will be very different from your passport photo. So that's what I heard. I don't have any friends or near relatives who did that. But something I hear.
Should we jump to another topic?
Sure. In the meantime, please keep the questions going as well, right? It's awesome that you guys are also interacting with us. That's the whole thing about Fika Club, that you guys have a chance on live to ask questions, and Yuhee especially. So let's move on to the next section.
So I would be talking slightly about the Korean media. So about lookism, I think like the media is quite responsible about lookism and stuff. So these are the one on the left is a Korean movie, and the one on the right is a Korean drama, which shows the main protagonist, the female protagonist, goes through a plastic surgery or transformation in some way, and her life changes like completely. So I think those kind of stuff would for young children, they would say, oh, if I turn pretty, like my life would change and would have like a more better life and stuff like that. So I think those kind of movies and dramas would also influence lookism in South Korean society. So next slide, please. And this is a TV program. It's now banned in South Korea because they think like it influences, like they kind of like support plastic surgery. So when the program is basically about there is like a woman who comes, like she has like she doesn't really like her appearance, so they have like doctors consulting with her, and they pay all the money for her plastic surgery, and then they show the transformation, and they also show how the woman's life changed after going through plastic surgery and stuff. So that TV program was quite like, it has like 5 seasons or so. So that was like a quite long-term TV program, but it's now banned because like people were kind of concerned about the drawbacks.
I remember I saw a lot of like in internet as well, like all these like before after, and then the whole that's like a few years ago where it wasn't such a big thing.
So next, the slide before, please. One before. So I would be talking about advertisements in South Korea. So the one on the above is commercial of game advertisements, and all the other one is advertisements of soju, Korean's traditional alcohol. And so like people might kind of be curious, like why are like pretty girls
why they take female models for soju only? Like
I think like for beer, it's like a more like musculous man would come out and like drink, and there's like for soju, like there would be a pretty woman, let's drink with us. And I think now it's abandoned to have like celebrities face on soju, because I think they think like it kind of like supports people to drink more alcohol and stuff. So but now I think some soldier brands still have women celebrities. They don't like act like too sexy and stuff nowadays, but they still have it. But there's like a soldier brand called Jinno, which only shows like a frog. It's the model. So I think like people are more aware about like all those kind of like commercialization of sex and stuff especially in South Korea. So yeah.
So in a sense, like you're saying that in soju advertisement is usually some young sexy girls, and then beers are more like
like the muscular men and
so
stuff.
men will be taking that beer.
Drink. Yeah.
So there's this like gender stereotype even for
I guess
advertisements.
so. Yeah. Because like soju is like all clean and like more pretty girls like act like that, and like beer is like more like the men stuff thing, I guess. So that was quite interesting.
Okay. And actually, just this thing, like let's say 5 years ago, it would be very common.
It is.
To have like sexy girls promoting soju.
Yeah, and now they have a new law that celebrities under the age 24 cannot be a soju model. Yeah. So I think like the government is responding to those kind of concerns, because maybe like young fans would also want to drink like ippon 언니 and 누나 and stuff like so. There are some changes.
There's also a change like beforehand they have like sexy dances during the soju advertisement, but like nowadays they take like more pure female idols like IU or Suji. Like it's like I don't know, it's like a change of image, but is that really a good thing? Like is it?
Yeah, I think so, because maybe like those pretty girl celebrities do help like the sales for soju, but I think soju companies may be concerned of like those kind of commercialization of sex, because it was like a really big issue in South Korean society. So I think people are paying more attention and try not to like make the model to be more sexy and stuff, but just like pretty girls and stuff.
It's good that commercial companies are taking notice of this and changing by themselves. I think that's a good step at least, and we're talking about like government doing something as well, right? Is there any questions from the audience regarding this, or? No. All right. I mean, keep the questions going. But talk about let's say talk about government politics. Like one of the questions that I have actually was from one of my colleagues, is that with the last president was a female president, right? So many people say that when you elect like a female leader, you empower women in general. So what is your take on that? Like because you were there when the whole when she was elected, right?
Right.
Do you feel that actually things were getting better?
I believe like some voters would have voted on President Park because she was a woman, to just support her, because like all the politicians the majority are males, and there's even a famous song called like Girl President from Girls' Day, which is like, even our president is a girl, like what can't girls do now? But like like all the President Park stuff it ended quite dirty and stuff, so nobody listened to the song and stuff. So but at the moment it did like really girls empowerment did kind of influence by the president, because like, she was the leader, and that kind of meant a lot to the Korean society, because
so that was a big point in female empowerment. Okay. In the meantime, we are facing a bit of a all right, let's keep it rolling. Amanda, do you have any questions to Yuhee? I mean,
I feel like about the commercialization of female, like except like the sexy bodies, like one of the most typical image of Korean females is like cutiness. Like they have aegyo, like oppa, they have those kind of stereotypes of a Korean woman. Like it's like, why is that so famous in South Korea? Like I never saw it in like Hong Kong or other countries.
No, but I mean like in Singapore we serve in the army too, so we always like get so got the boys are like, oh, Korean are saying oppa. So there is this like infatuation, attraction towards this cutiness.
To be honest, like a few years ago, like if like a pretty celebrity would come like to a show TV program and so people would ask like, oh, do some aegyo, and like people would do like random aegyos like out of nowhere, like they would just do stuff like that. But even in like like those kind of like really serious like places, people would ask like, oh, can you do aegyo? And then the girls should do it because like sometimes like the TV program would be alive and it would be awkward if you say like no. why would I? So like they do like those stuff. But now people think it's kind of weird, like why do you ask women to do aegyo and stuff, like now like people are aware. And I think like I don't really see like, oh, do aegyo, because like some people think it's quite rude to ask female, because you don't really ask like male idols and do aegyo, like maybe sometimes, but
it's like
people idols and stuff. But
can you explain what is aegyo, maybe to like like someone who doesn't really know?
Oh, the word about the word.
What exactly?
Like aegyo, is like a Chinese. It's like sana, like love. It has like a double meaning. Is like love, and kyo is like, oh, it's hard to like flirtatious, like love action, I guess. Like if I have to like explain the word, like it's just like acting cute and like acting girly, I guess. Like so people don't really like the world like acting like doing aegyo. And like also the word 여성스럽다, like being like feminine, is quite it might kind of some people would think that word is also weird, because like what do you mean like being like a girl? So I think people are trying to change those kind of words, even they use in daily basis. They're more concerned about those kind of stuff.
Okay, so not trying to force an aegyo on like all girls. So in the past you kind of have to create your own. Even though you don't like it, you have to create like an
that
aegyo.
was like really huge in Korea in the past, but now I think it's changing a lot. So.
Oh, it sounds very positive actually, like to see a lot of the what you mentioned, like in the past is like that, but now things are moving to be better. Right, right, so moving on to the next section.
So now I will be talking about how women would be reacting to the issues we have discussed before. And yes, next slide please. So first I would be talking about the Me Too movement. So it was popular in Hollywood in the States, but it initiated in 2008 by a woman called Seo Ji-hyun. So we would be watching about a video later on. So the Me Too movement had a positive influence because those kind of reports about like sexual assault crimes have increased. So it's not like about the whole increase of like actual crimes, but we see that like women are more open to talk about their experience, and they could fight back to those kind of crimes and stuff. So yeah, and we would watch a short video.
누군가 물어봤습니다. 한국에서 여성으로 살아가는 것은 어떤 것이냐?
So
다시는
this
태어나고
woman
싶지 않는 삶.
really started all the Me Too movement in South Korea.
Me Too! Me Too! 제 첫 부장님이 저에게 너처럼 생기 내치고 검사 오래 하는 사람 못 봤다. 얼마나 검사를 오래 하나 지켜보자 라고 첫날 얘기를 했어요. 정말 여검사들에 대한 최고의 칭찬은 남자 검사 못지않다. 옆자리에 앉아서 허리를 감싸 안고 엉덩이를 쓰다듬는 행위를 상당 시간 동안 하였습니다. 8년이라는 시간 동안 그 모든 것이 제 잘못이라고만 생각했어요.
우리가 기억한다. 우리는 그동안 너무 오래 참았습니다.
심리 상담을 해주시는 분께서 처음으로 저에게 이것은 너의 잘못이 아니다. It's not your fault 라고 얘기를 해주셨어요. 제가 8년 만에 처음으로 들었던 이야기였어요. 그리고 그 무렵 헐리우드 배우들의 미투를 보게 되었는데 저렇게 전 세계적으로 유명한 배우들도 이런 일을 당하는구나. 제가 JTBC 인터뷰를 할 때는 너무나 사실 걱정이 되고 공포스럽기까지 했었는데요. 그 이후에 많은 분들이 미투라는 이야기를 해주었을 때 그분들의 목소리가 저에게는 위드위로 느껴졌거든요. 그분들에게도 아마도 저의 미투가 위드위로 느껴졌던 것이 아닐까라고 생각하고 있습니다. 사실 제 미투 이후에 8개월이라는 시간이 흘렀지만 법이나 제도적으로 변한 것은 거의 없습니다. 또 많은 피해자들이 여전히 고통에 시달리고 있습니다. 피해자들은 마녀 사냥을 당하고 수많은 2차 가해에 시달리고 있습니다. 하지만 제가 생각하는 사회적으로 달라진 것은 비록 법과 제도는 아직 따라오지 못하고 있지만 사람들이 생각 속에 성폭력을 더 이상 피해자의 잘못이 아니라는 것. 이제는 피해자들이 두려워하지 않고 이야기할 수 있는 용기를 갖게 되었다는 것, 그것이 가장 큰 의미가 아닌가 싶습니다. 제가 바라는 세상은 미투가 퍼져나가는 세상이 아니에요. 미투가 필요 없는 세상이거든요. 누군가 물어보았습니다.
Yeah, okay, so that was it for the Me Too movement, and I would also talk about another really huge movement that strikes South Korea. So it is about patriarchal, which means you escape the corset which the society have set on you. So women have thought that putting on makeup and dressing up is a form of labor, and they feel they should escape from it, from the corset the society have gave to each female. And it is in a lot of forms. So people stop wearing makeup, and they stop like doing more excessive diets, and they cut their hair short and stop dyeing their hair and stuff. And we have also a few videos that can better explain the movement. Yeah, so women in South Korea are like just destroying their makeup and being rebellious against those kind of social norms. So that's like maybe an example of those standardized beauty of South Korea.
So escaping the things that have been put on them.
Yeah,
kind of
the corset, like the beauty standards and stuff.
Comes from that yeah, right. For those who don't know, the corset,
yeah, it's like a medieval stuff.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
물어봤을 때 저는 노라고 대답하게 되더라고요.
Yeah, and later on we would watch a video about like the previous girl.
어쩌다 밖에 나갈 일이 생기면 고민을 했다. 뚱뚱하고 못생긴 내가 밖에 나가면 민폐일
And
거라고.
she is a famous YouTuber in South Korea, and this video had like a lot of views in South Korea, and it was really viral.
아무것도 하기 싫었고 이대로 죽었으면 좋겠다는
So
생각을
she
했다.
is one figure that really triggered all the escape
인터넷
of the
세상은
corset
유일한
movement.
친구였다. 미디어에 보여지는 여자들은 하나같이 예뻤다. 몸매가 완벽했고 보여지는 그들이
So I
너무
heard she
화려해
received a
보였다.
lot of backlash from
그런
both
사람들과 나를
gender.
Yeah,
자꾸
yeah, she
비교했다.
did, she did.
자괴감이 들었다. 왜 나는 예쁘지 않을까? 난 왜 못생겼고 뚱뚱할까? 다른 사람들은 다 행복한데 왜 나는 행복하지 못할까? 그래, 그러면 예뻐지면 되는 거였다. 나는 음식을 먹는 내 자신이 혐오스러워 먹고 토하고를 반복했다. 말라야 해. 마르고 예쁘면 사랑받을 수 있어. 내 맨 얼굴을 보여주기 싫었다. 안 그래도 내 얼굴을 보면 짜증난다는데 적어도 여자처럼 보이려면 화장을 해야 했다. 요즘 화장은 예의잖아. 조금씩 바뀌는 내 얼굴에, 조금은 예뻐지는 내 얼굴에 나는 희열을 느꼈다. 그런데 이상하다. 그 행복은 길게 가지 않았다. 나는 하라는 대로 했을 뿐인데 예뻐지면 행복해진다고 했다. 그래서 노력했는데 왜? 그래서 난 예뻐지려고 노력하는 걸 그만두기로 했다.
So just it's like a break. Like
일어나서
the version
화장하는
of
시간이
the
없어지니
traditional
2시간은
beauty
시간이
standards
없다.
against
화장하다가
towards
약속이 늦는
women.
일이 없어졌다.
Yeah, so they break the makeup cosmetics
내 생활에
products
익숙해지니
and cut their
두려울
hair.
게 없었다.
Yeah, but like I heard like Jay have said, it receives
운동을
like
하면
pretty
울퉁불퉁한
much
근육이 생겨
critics
몸매가
about
예쁘지 않게
this
살이 빠진다며
this
나를
movement.
속인 블로그를 무시했다. 남들이 아닌
How do you
나를 위해
think about
운동을
that? Is that
시작하면
really like an
지켜보다 시작되는
empowerment
운동이
of women?
재미있었다.
Because like I guess because some feminist like movements in South Korea is kind of directed against South Korean male. So South Korean male could feel offended towards those kind of movements as well. So I think that kind of triggers all those gender fights upon like male and female, and I think that generates more critics because it's not like some movements might not like only be based on like about women, but it's like male should be responsible to be like making such kind of social norms and stuff. So that would kind of trigger those kind of hates and critics. But also like some females do also have those kind of anti-feminist sentiments. So I think it also both gender is kind of critical to feminists, and there are also like a lot of supporting groups as well.
I see. We have received also new questions from the audience again on YouTube Live. So let's view the first question by Fan Liu, which is, I imagine there's been a lot of pushback from Korean men. In what ways have they counter-attacked the Me Too or feminist way? Good question.
Yeah, because this is also an issue I really want to talk about, because some feminist movements in South Korea is more like a gender fight, like besides like women empowerment, and throughout that progress, all like Korean male would also be offended. And I talked about like a new like insultive word called Hangnam, which literally means Korean male, but the connotation is really bad, and that is used against some radical feminists in South Korea. So those Me Too, as I talked about, there were a lot of drawbacks, like some innocent male were accused against, and there are some cases because like, you know, sex crimes, it's hard to get evidence if time passed. So there were some cases, one male who were really against those Me Too movements, he was a victim of a woman who had testimonied that like she was like kind of sexually assaulted by that man, but there were no evidence, but like her testimony was the only evidence, and he was convicted to jail. So that kind of triggered his movement of anti-feminism and stuff. So I think like male are also trying to fight against their boundaries, because they in some ways they are getting attacked to those kind of radical feminists. So there are a lot of gender conflicts.
Yeah, I know there's like feminist website.
Yeah,
just like, you know, accusing Korean males like being like too rude to Korean women. Like there's a very radical website. Like it's like full of I don't know, foul language and those kind of stuff. Like that's why like many Korean male like dislike feminism in general. Like they feel like I feel like they have a certain misunderstanding of feminism, like because of these kind of like too extreme feminist ideas.
I think I was like, yeah, I think at that point I was like doing some research regarding feminism as well. And when I go to YouTube, any videos that has the word feminism involved, like I've never seen so many dislikes compared to likes. The ratio, I've never seen so much in my life, and there's so much attacks on that in international scene. But I think probably what you say also in Korea, there's been like this kind of attacks as well. And Jordan has a great question as well, like finding out more information about the recent movements in Korea. Where are the good places that you can recommend Jordan to find, like what kind of good resources or good
resources? The best way, if you could speak Korean, like Naver, of course, like that's like the most famous Korean engine. But I think like YouTube deals with a lot of those kind of stuff, because some Korean feminists, any form, like it's radical or not, they want to share their experience also in YouTube, and they have like English subtitles and stuff. Like also the woman called Perina, we showed her video, and she also has English subtitles, and you can have like a better understanding. And I think YouTube or Google, if you just type about like Me Too or Escape the Corset movement, which was like the most biggest events, you could have like better understanding about the event.
Or maybe Jordan wants to know more, like are there certain websites or certain, let's say, news websites or agencies which are more credible or like more representative in your opinion?
I guess like they do have some, but mostly they're all in Korean, unfortunately, and yeah, there are a lot of like swear words and stuff, like because it's like a really sensitive topic, so online people feel more uncomfortable because it's anonymous and stuff. So yeah, maybe not like any I don't know any website in English that supports those kind of stuff. Sorry. Yeah.
All right, but let's say we can actually find a link. We will put it back in the description as well. So Jordan, you can check back with us, or you can message us on YouTube or Facebook as well. Right? So we can get you in touch with certain resources if you need it. Yeah.
Yeah. So we got another questions. Will women with higher social status or great power in companies become unpopular among Korean men? Korean men tend to find some cute and obedient girls to become their wife. Wow.
To be honest, I don't really think so, because I don't think like Korean male are finding like girlfriends or wife that's obedient, but there's like a special term, and there's like a really famous woman celebrity. She says like she fights back those Confucian norms, and she says all males should like do all the laundry, and you should because you're a male. And it's just like a kind of joke, because it's so like a reverse to the Confucius norm, and like people really like those kind of jokes, and they don't really feel offended, but it's just like a transition. And I don't feel like maybe some like inferior men would kind of like feel jealous if their wife like earns more money, but I don't think like it's that's common among Korean males, because like I think Korean male may have kind of an anti-feminism because of the radical feminists, but not in general. I guess both male and female are fighting for gender equality, so I don't think so. Yeah.
I think in Chinese saying, right, you can't use one bamboo to hit the entire ship. Right?
Yeah,
so you
right,
cannot generalize
Yeah.
everyone, like all males are anti, all males are like, there are always certain small percentages, like
But like regarding to the social status of Korean women, I want to ask like if because I heard Korean women will get workplace discrimination because they will get pregnant or they will get marriage. Yeah, they will get like the companies didn't hire the woman because they may have to like take holidays because they will get pregnant. Yeah. So is that true in Korea?
Yeah, I'm not. It's not based on my empirical experience, because I never joined like the Korean society's work field. But I do know like even some K-dramas deal with those working moms, and they kind of criticize those kind of social norms, because people understand like those business is like a really competitive place, and like people who kind of lose this like the certain place the business has to go, they have to kind of like step outside and like other people would take their jobs. But now I think there's a lot of government policies that protect those women who have who has like labor and stuff, and also they give those kind of vacation to males as well to support their wife and help doing stuff like that to raise their baby and stuff. Yeah.
Oh, so paternity leave, like
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
in,
yeah.
like in Scandinavian country.
Yeah, for also male and female. So
Yeah.
I think it is also changing. Yeah.
That's something I support. Yeah.
We do have a question by one of our colleagues about army in South Korea. Like because like South Korean men are like it's compulsory for them to attend army, but it's not for Korean women.
Yeah, sure.
Like so this regulations kind of draw a very serious discussion in South Korea, like why men should be the one who take this responsibility. Like, how do you think about it?
Because like before in my age of 20s, I thought it was like so natural for male to go to military, which is quite sad because it might be kind of weird because like if you're born as a male, you have to go. Like it's not like determined among like how strong you are or like your physical ability, because you're a male, you have to go to military. So I think like people are discussing about like women should also serve their country in a certain term, because like a lot of my friends are serving for military and they have to spend like 2 years in their like early 20s, like the most precious time. And yeah, I think those kind of stuff might have raised like a different understanding, especially for like feminists who support like women empowerment, and some male who feel like they are sacrificing their like most precious life. So I think like military it is quite like a discussion about like between like feminists and anti-feminists.
As someone who went through the army as well, similar to Korea, it's a similar discussion in Singapore as well regarding like the male-female thing. Like so the argument is that females are like 2 years ahead of male in terms of work, university, right? So shouldn't there be some kind of compensation for the male, or like making sure that the female goes do 2 years of service as well? There was this like informal thing that the girls served their national service through giving births. Where back in the times where it was common to have 2-3 kids, and then like effectively like 2 years of your life to do that. But nowadays, like because of like we're not having kids anymore, so there was this discussion as well. So probably similar to Korea, right? To Jordan, like I think he wanted to have some Korean-based websites, right? So I think we'll get in touch with you when we collect all the so please message us either through YouTube or we will comment in the video again. So do check back as well. We will be putting up some resources for you to check out. But great that you are trying to learn more. I assume that you know Korean.
That's nice.
I assume that you know Korean. That's awesome. So time is almost up. So we probably have to round things up. Amanda, do you have anything to round it up, or or if not, then I just have a question. We talk about future, right? I mean, what you have mentioned so far, it seems that Korea is taking a good step to correcting the whole issue, gender equality. Are you positive that things will get even better, or what's your take on this, like the future of feminism or gender equality in Korea?
So I think like we are going in a positive direction, but right now South Korea is kind of confronting a lot of gender conflicts between female versus male. So I hope like we can respect both gender, because like as a Korean female, I only talked about like my side as a Korean female, but I also understand as a Korean male there would be a lot of discrimination they should go, and as they sacrifice like a really precious 2 years to serve the military, and as like a Korean woman standing here, like we really are thankful of like all those kind of effort we put in place, and I hope like we could understand both genders, and it's not about like which gender are we. We're just like all Koreans, and we can just support both, and we can fight for gender equality, because also like inverse sexism is also a serious issue in South Korea, and a lot of males are feeling they are kind of like in the side because we are only like focusing on all women empowerment, but like both gender could be empowered in some way.
That's a really awesome.
Yeah.
And because I truly believe like what you say, right? It's not about attacking another side. It's not about taking sides and on both both sexes. Not about like trying to like accuse each other. It's really working together to get a better future as well. And that's why I'm also thankful for this session, that we can actually have a chat. We talk about things that are that exist in the society, things that needs to be changed, but at the same time we're not attacking another side. We're just having a good conversation, and as what you say, you represent only like let's say as a Korean female, right? But there's so many points of view as well. So even for our audience, for us as well, you also be good, and we can also learn more, talk to more people, get their opinions as well, and then because this issue is not just black and white, you need to understand from many different angles, right? So with that, we want to say thank you so much to Yuhee, and thank you so much, and thank you so much to our audience as well for such a good interaction, right? We have lots of great questions, and if you are being shy, if you don't know, if nothing, you can't come up with the questions now, but later on, if you view the videos again, if any questions, feel free to message us on YouTube, on Facebook, on our Instagram. You can find it in the link, in the video link as well, and we'll try our best to answer you. Just like for Jordan, we'll try to give you the resources when we can. And with that, we have to say goodbye. We'll have 2 other sessions in this Explorers Month coming up next on Friday, which is about learning a Korean language, not just about 안녕하세요, but really, like things like respectful language and the Hanja, right? Like Chinese, Chinese characters in Korean. Like what does it mean? Like like with K-dramas nowadays, like a lot of like ancient history, right? So we're learning that, and then next week we will be doing our armchair traveler, where we will travel around Korea on Google Earth. Right? So stay tuned. If you like this section, please.
We do have our dance class too.
Oh yes. So if you are into more movement, right, you can also sign up for
K-pop
drama, K-pop dance session. That's conducted in Cantonese. I mean in Cantonese for our Hong Kong audience. So if you are, that's happening soon as well. So please feel free. If you like our session, please also give us a like on Facebook, YouTube, and spread it out to your friends. Ultimately, we really want to have more of these conversations. We want people to learn more about the world, become true global citizens, right? That's our mission as intercultural education. And thank you so much for watching, and see you soon. Right?
Bye.
Bye.